Hey everyone, it's Richard Metalfan here, bringing you guys an old school album review, continuing the Sevendust discography review, and today we're going to be talking about Time Travelers and Bonfires. This is the band's 10th album, released on April 15th, 2014, through Asylum Records. Now this of course follows up their previous album, 2013's Black Out the Sun. With this album compared to Black Out the Sun, this is actually different. It's actually a first for Sevendust, being that this is actually an acoustic album. And this album, boom, runs for about 50 minutes, and it has 12 tracks. The first six songs are actually some new songs, and the last six are actually like previously released songs re-recorded as acoustic versions. And from what I heard, this album was actually a fan campaign to fund this album, but which lasted about a few months, and they pretty much reached their goal in over the course of like 1 week. Um, and this album, I feel I heard Lejean say that in an interview that they wanted to do an acoustic album because there was positive reaction from their live acoustic album called Southside Double Wide, which was released like a decade prior. And that album was really great as well. And some people wouldn't put this album as part of their main discography, but I'm definitely going to consider it. It's a really good album. But like especially I like the different approaches to like the older songs, which actually shows like the melodic side of the band and focusing more vocally. And I feel like Lejean's vocals on this album are really great. Like I mentioned before, he puts so much emotion into his singing. Like you could definitely feel how he conveys the emotions, and just hearing it, just like these songs just raw and just without even just like without like a backing like distorted guitars is just perfect. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now starting things off is Come Down, which opens it up in a beautiful fashion, which immediately removes any worry I had about this album being like too slow or too boring. And this song, while it takes a slower place, it's leveled with some great melody, and Lejean has some really great vocals, which it just betters as the album goes forward. Or while the chorus isn't like phenomenal as I thought it would have been, it complements the track really great. Especially like the verses at the beginning and the middle are just nothing short of great. It's a pretty solid opener. Anyway, next song is called excuse me. Next song is called Under It All, and it's a very nice song. It doesn't like quite reach its full potential because of like the chorus seems a little bit distant, and it gets more tiring as we reach like near the end of the song. It is a certainly nice song which flows with the rest of the album as a whole. It features some nice guitar work as it closes like the second chorus, and the repetitive nature of it that that kind of like makes it not like a fan favorite. It's a simple skip when listening to the album again, but it's worth listening to as like a whole. Next song is called The Wait, and while the previous two songs are great, this one has some great guitar melody, and Morgan's drumming and Lejean's vocals is great. Truly a beautiful song. Upbeat Sugar, which is a pretty weird song title, but anyway. And I feel like this song is a nice change up for some of the more emotional songs that the album brings. I feel like the one thing I wished it could have done better is has a faster tempo. It kind of flows a bit too slow at times, which kind of makes it drag on for certain sections. However, I feel like it's a really well written song. One Life, I feel like this song carries like a haunting sort of like edge to it with Lejean, and kind of like urges to pray to God before you die. And while it kind of sounds like a bleak track, it's still capable of like shedding light of hope and with like the well written lyrics as well. Then we move on to a Bonfire. Now this is the closest thing we can get to an actual title track of the album. Like I would have wished they would have called it like Time Travelers or have Bonfire. Something similar with like their album Hope and Sorrow, where they had one song as Hope and then one song as Sorrow. But I feel like Bonfires definitely kind of has a country vibe to it. And the chorus here is a very wonderful song. It's a masterpiece as well, and that's pretty much ends like the original songs that we've heard so far. Then we move on to the six new versions. Next song is Gone. On is actually one of the first of six, and this is originally from their album Seasons, and it's one of my favorite. But it's from that. But this version not so much when I first heard it. But however, it has grown on me like over the years. It's a great song, but I feel like it's still missing seeing that kind of like feel that's on the original. That's just me. Then we move on to Denial, and there is no denying that this song or this version will get lots of fans, giving like a completely different melody from the original, and it feels like a lot refreshing and gives like a new depth to it. And I feel like it focuses more on the lyrics this time and what's surrounding it, like in the original version. While it sort of has a little bit more of a hip hop rap vibe to it and some rock and bass line, and this the original version might be better, but this is something else entirely. It sort of like invokes like a different mood to it. Next is Trust, which is originally from Animosity. See, the first time I heard this, and I feel like I pretty much have a clear view of what I'm getting like. And then I listened back to the album again, and there's just something about it, especially with like Lejean's vocals. Especially like the final run of the chorus, it just really shines here, and it kind of harkens back to like that Animosity album to where the song is from, like I said. And I feel like, I don't know, no, it's a pretty good song. Anyway, moving on to Crucified, and this song I didn't really like as much as the original. It's still a great song, but I feel like that is more calm and relaxing in the original, and this song is more far off riddled and hard rocking. And I feel like this version could have been used some more of the backup vocals from Morgan or Clint on the original, which I feel like is the biggest flaw with this album, or just like on that song in particular. Anyway, moving on to Karma, which I was surprised to see that they ended up going with this. It's like one of the better songs on the album, and I didn't see much need improvement on it, but I feel like the acoustic version takes on a new approach to it, and I prefer the original song off of A Cold Day Memory. Yeah, I feel like it was more raw and unhinged, but this one is just straightforward, relaxing, and it works. It kind of works against like the lyrics at times, but it works nonetheless. And then it closes with Black, which originally was on the band's self-titled 1997 debut, which I think this was pretty much the band's magnus opus, and I thought closing it with, and it pays off well. And I loved like the live version from the Southside Double Wide live album, but this version is nothing to overlook, and it's powerful, full message within the lyrics, and it's a pretty great way to end this album, and it ends on a high note. So overall, Time Travelers and Bonfires by Sevendust is a really great album, even for an acoustic album. Especially like the new approaches, like the especially like the original versions of the songs that they redid is really great. Right, but I mean, it's just the little things that could have like tweaked a little bit, but overall, pretty good album. So already this album score, I'm gonna give this album a solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.